Hi guys, today I want to talk to you a little bit about color charts. Now admittedly this isn't something I've always done, but I've recently started playing around with watercolors, and since it's a medium I'm not really familiar with, I decided to give it a shot, and I actually found it incredibly invaluable and very useful. It allowed me to reference the colors, learn how they behave, and check out how they would interact with each other. So that's really the main reason why you'd want to do it, just so you can see how they're interacting, see how the colors look on the paper, and get a really good sense of what's going on. This is the first sort of chart I ever made. It's pretty primitive, but it gets the job done. And I learnt a lot from it. The main thing I learnt was how important layout was. You want to give enough space for the color to be painted, and you also want to have the name of the color very clearly printed underneath. Now if your handwriting's awesome, you can probably write it out. Mine requires a lot of work, so printing it out on the computer is probably going to be the best bet for my sort of style. Now I'm going to make today a chart for Winsor Newton Drawing Inks. This is the inks that I've been using for a long time, but so what I did is I went into a Word document, created a little table, had enough space for all the colors. Now Winsor Newton have 24 ink colors and I've got most of them, so I just printed out a table with all 24 spaces with their labels on them, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and fill in the colors that I have. The paper used is very important. You want to use the paper that you usually paint on. If you use something like standard printer paper, it's not going to behave the way that it would when you're actually doing your piece of art. You'll find that printer paper was likely going to bleed more, the colors usually a lot brighter, and it's a lot thinner, and the inks might behave a lot differently to what you're sort of planning on having going on. So try and use the paper that you usually paint with. Now I paint primarily with Arches Watercolour smooth paper. It's either 185 or 300 because I found that works particularly well for me. If you're using Copic markers, you might use a very particular bleed-proof paper. Just make sure when you're doing your chart you're using the paper that you would usually paint on to get the benefit of having the chart, so you get an accurate representation of the colors. Now once this was printed out, I started to organize my inks so I could get to them quickly and just start filling in the boxes. You can fill them in a solid way if you wish, but I use a spit shading technique. So what I ended up doing was painting half the boxes in solid, and then the bottom half I would blend out just to sort of see how they would behave. And this really helps cement for me which colors blend well, which colors take to the spit shading technique better than the other colors. So again, it's that reaffirmation of how your colors will behave when you actually start to paint with them. And that's pretty much it. I just kept going until I filled in the boxes of the colors. Now like I said, I had most of them, and the ones that I don't have, when I grab them I'll just fill in my chart, and eventually I'll sort of complete the set. Pretty simple. It doesn't take an incredible amount of time, but it will save you a lot of headaches when you're deciding which colors you want to use for your next project. You can create one for each medium that you use. I plan to recreate my first chart that I showed you, which was kind of dodgy looking, using the technique I've just used here, just to again clarify and organize everything out. And I'll do that at some point in the near future. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it in some way useful. Please don't forget to subscribe. You'll get notified whenever new videos are posted. You can also find me on Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you next time.